Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mrs. Bray Reads a Story. So today I'm going to be reading two stories in this one video, and I am reading this story at a very specific request from my grandma. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. And the book that I'm going to be reading today is from the original Winnie the Pooh books. And this is a very, very special book because this is one of the original Winnie the Pooh books. It is called When Now We Are Six, and you can tell this book is very, very old. And when you look in the front cover, it says Kathleen Lepper, Christmas 1927. Now, Kathleen Lepper was my great aunt, Auntie Kay. And when she was little, she got this book for Christmas, 1927. And then she and her younger sister, my Auntie Peggy, will love to get stories read to them from this book. And then when they had a little sister, 20 years later, my great Auntie Jenny, they read to her stories from this book too. So, and then my great Auntie Jenny gave this book to me years ago. So there's been many, many, many decades of kids being read to from this book, and it's a very special book. So hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Auntie Jenny. Okay, so the stories that I'm going to be reading to you today are, first one is my favorite Winnie the Pooh story, and it's called Cherry Stones. And every single time I eat cherries, right from the time I was a little kid, I always count out the cherry stones and say this little poem. Even today at 32, I'm still counting cherry stones and saying this poem. Okay, so cherry stones. Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, rich man, poor man, plowboy, thief. And what about a cowboy, policeman, jailer, engine driver, or pirate chief? What about a postman or a keeper at the zoo? What about the circus man who lets people through? And the man who takes the pennies for the roundabouts and swings? Or the man who plays the organ and the other man that sings? What about the conjurer with rabbits in his pockets? What about a rocket man who's always making rockets? Oh, there's such a lot of things to do and such a lot to be. There's always lots of cherries on my little cherry tree. Okay, so that's my favorite one. I always like the Cherry Stones poem. This next one is a very fun story that is also about Winnie the Pooh. So one of the original Winnie the Pooh stories. Okay. So this one is a story about Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. Okay, and this little story is called Us Two. Wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh in me. Whatever I do, he wants to do. Where are you going today? Says Pooh. Well, that's very odd, because I was two. Let's go together, says Pooh, says he. Let's go together, says Pooh. What's twice 11? I said to Pooh. Twice what? Said Pooh to me. I think it ought to be 22. Just what I think myself, said Pooh. That wasn't an easy sum to do, but that's what it is, said Pooh, said he. That's what it is, said Pooh. Let's look for dragons, I said to Pooh. Yes, let's, said Pooh to me. We crossed the river and found a few. Yes, those are dragons all right, said Pooh. As soon as I saw their beaks, I knew. That's what they are, said Pooh, said he. That's what they are, said Pooh. Let's frighten the dragons, I said to Pooh. That's right, said Pooh to me. I'm not afraid, I said to Pooh, and I held his paw and shouted, Shoo, silly old dragons, and off they flew. I wasn't afraid, said Pooh, said he. I'm never afraid with you. So wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh and me. What would I do, I said to Pooh, if it wasn't for you? And Pooh said true. It isn't much fun for one, but two can stick together, says Pooh, says he. That's how it is, says Pooh. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed that story, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, a very, very special book, and some very special people requested me to read the stories to you today. So I hope you guys all have a good evening, and I will see you guys next time on Mrs. Bray Reads a Story. Night, Grandma. Night, Grandpa. Night, Auntie Jenny.